What is up, y'all? How many of y'all remember 7 years ago when this kid Junior was beaten to being deceased? This was in the Bronx. He ran into a bodega for help, and he was ultimately pulled out of there with several gang members, basically beating this kid with machetes and this type of stuff, and ultimately, ending his life. There's some update in the case on the gentleman that delivered the final blow. Let's check it out. I watched a little bit of this video, but I'm gonna go back and we can look at it together.
Leandra Feliz is back inside a courtroom facing the man who murdered her son, Lisandro Jr. Guzman Feliz, almost 7 years ago. This time, the man who delivered the fatal blow is looking for somewhat of a break on his sentence. During a resentencing hearing, Junior's mother tells Pix 11 News this only adds to her lasting pain of losing her son.
It's bring me to the first day. I always in the first day, but to watch those video again, it's devastating.
Jonaiki Martinez Estrella was condemned to life without parole in the brutal killing of the 15-year-old. The case rocked the city, with Junior's murder caught on surveillance cameras from inside a Bronx bodega. Estrella was charged with first-degree murder and convicted, but appealed his life sentence. Appellate court judges agreed prosecutors failed to prove first-degree murder, so Estrella was resentenced to the lesser second-degree murder charge. Friday afternoon, Junior's family reliving the facts of the case. His mother and sister read victim impact statements to the judge. Junior's mother was devastated, having to come back to appear in court.
They should be in prison forever. It's not gonna make any difference because my son is deaf. They killed my son. It was a kid, innocent kid.
The defense attorney tried to get leniency for his client, saying that he has a low IQ, diminished cognitive skills, but the prosecution pushing back on that, saying that Estrella had the wherewithal to attend school, to work, to join a gang, and to kill Junior. Break on his...
All right, let's get into the discussion here. Junior's gone. Let's get it straight. Junior's gone. He's never coming back. It's sad his mother had to live through this again. Now them saying that he didn't have the wherewithal to understand the severity, or at the time understood that this is bad. Listen. I get it. Sometimes in the street, and I've been in the street before, you're forced. If you've heard of peer pressure, in the streets, it's like 10 times worse. I'm from Brooklyn. Listen, it's the same. I don't think it's as bad as the Bronx, especially in these recent times. I've heard from other people the Bronx has been worse. It's probably the worst now, but the Bronx is really bad. It's really bad. But you got to understand, man, taking someone's life, that's always been the thing of you do that and it's bad. That's where they're getting at. You do that and it's bad. We know that some kids, they don't have the same opportunities as others, but you kill somebody, you take their life, it is bad. A lot of people come from, especially in the Hispanic and Black neighborhood, they know of the Bible. They know of taking a life. They know if you do that, it's a sin. I get that some people will be, you know what, man? I move this mic back. I think it's too loud. And my background is loud. Just so you know, I'm in New York. See, I'm in New York. I'm a New Yorker. Listen, you do something like that, you ruin people's lives, you ruin your life, you ruin the community, and several other things you do. Now, granted, apparently the person they were looking for was another gang member. A mistaken identity it was for taking this young man's life. But still, what? So you found somebody that did something bad and you do this to them? Man, you gotta understand, for those people that don't remember, they went out there, they cut this kid up, man. I have no sympathy for these folks. You do things bad, And again, I'm sorry for their families members as well, because I've had family members done crazy stuff as well. Like I said, I've been in the streets. Sometimes you got to make the decision for those young people up there. Make the decision to, hey, I'm gonna walk away. Okay, my fellow gang members want to do something to me. I made some bad decisions, but I'm not gonna make anything worse than it is. This man is not coming back. 15, which is a critical age, by the way. 15, man. I'm sorry his mother had to go through this again. His family had to go through this again. There was some grown men in that crew, man. There was some grown men in that gang that ordered this hit. It's sad to see that we are not growing as people, because we go right back to where we were. And a lot of times it's the grown folks is doing this, you know. A lot of times these grown folks are telling these young kids about the good old days, and yeah, you're gonna let that effort do this. If it was me back in the day, these are the people that stayed on the block to cause as much harm as possible. So young folks, my advice to y'all is to get money the right way, by the way. You don't have to get out of there, but you can make the neighborhood better, you know? Because if this continues to happen, we're eventually not going to have anybody around. They're already doing all this stuff to us. They're deporting folks, all right? They're going in, they're poisoning us with the food. They're going in and they're giving us the end of the bud. You know what I mean? They don't give us the good stuff in here. You go get fruit in the supermarket, you get the worst fruit in the hood. Whether it was the hood or not, you shouldn't have took this young man's life. Now, him getting second degree, hey man, I'll let the criminal justice system do what it does. But this was senseless, man. New Yorkers, I hope y'all understand. Because a lot of times, what I see is that people will go ahead and say, yeah, free this guy, free that guy. Man, you gotta understand, you put these people back on the street, and a lot of times they end up doing the same thing. I know a lot of us has been in the penitentiary and incarcerated and such, and a lot of times we feel we sympathize with these folks because we put ourselves in their shoes. But sometimes these people need to go away, get out of it. And it's about time we start standing up and saying we don't need this violence in our neighborhood. My kids should be able to go to the supermarket or the bodega or wherever and come back alive. I shouldn't have to put them down on the ground. That's my take on it. He should be locked up. Sorry. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in. And tell me what you think in the comments section. There'll be more.